It's not often that I instantly know a game is for me after watching one video, but the trailer for A Short Hike was oozing with so much charm that I had to watch it in the shower. I would best describe A Short Hike as aggressively cozy. It's like hugging a kitten near a warm fire while being waterboarded with a refreshing cup of chamomile tea. You take on the role of Claire, a moody bird girl that kind of sucks at being a bird because she can only fly downward. This is unfortunate as the main goal of the game is to go up, to the top of a mountain specifically. Why the top of a mountain? It's not for some spiritual journey or to fight a dragon drug lord. Claire is expecting a personal phone call, and the only place with reception is at the summit of Hawk Peak. So the plot is surprisingly grounded for a game about a bird. After figuring out your destination, you're released into the open world to do what you want, how you want, much like I was at the age of 4. At the start, Claire can only move, jump, and glide. But every action, no matter how simple, has a satisfying weight to it. The gliding in particular is a lot of fun. After finding your first golden feather, you're granted not only an additional jump, but also the ability to climb any surface like some sort of slimy, sticky glue creature. I mean, Claire doesn't even have fingers, so it's pretty impressive she can climb at all. Jumping drains your feather count faster than climbing does, so it's really a speed versus efficiency deal. More feathers can be found by exploring the map or buying them off of NPCs using coins hidden around, otherwise known as stealing. Each feather improves your jumping and climbing abilities further, making your hike easier as you discover more. That's where the real beauty of this buttery bird game kicks in. There's no right or wrong path, and simply exploring means you're making progress. You can interact with the dozens of characters you see along the way, or ignore them almost entirely. You definitely shouldn't do that though, because they're kawaii desu and usually have something funny or helpful to say. A few even introduce cool side activities, or have their own storylines that play out alongside yours. Personally, I just like to watch them unknowingly from a distance while they try to live their lives. That way they can never reject my advances. Most of the time, when people compare every hard game with a dodge roll to Dark Souls, or every relaxing game with dialogue to Animal Crossing, I want to remove my own kneecaps with a grapefruit spoon. But in this game's case, it really draws a lot of similarities to Breath of the Wild of all things. Not only are the climbing and gliding mechanics present, but also the discovery-driven gameplay, where each new thing you find naturally leads you to something else. Obviously, the scope here is much smaller, but it almost feels like a diorama version of the same concept. On the presentation side of things, I think this game really stands out. I mean, it does look like they took a DS game and blew it up to 20 times the intended size with pixels so chunky you'd probably cut yourself by touching the screen, but I love it. If you prefer your visuals less crispy, there are also options to reduce the pixelation to your liking. Honestly, I think the style and colors look great whichever way you decide to play, and it sounds even better than it looks. The music matches the low-stakes adventure mood perfectly, and gives off some heavy Miyazaki vibes at points, especially paired with the calming environmental noises. You're gonna want to play this one with your ears on. If this game is anything like my past relationships, I think there's gonna be a lot of disappointment over length. Reaching the end won't take much longer than an hour in most cases. However, I can't stress enough that it's not about the ending. The real ending comes when you run out of things to do, which will probably take around 3 to 4 more hours. It's a compact experience where they don't waste your time with padding, and it's priced appropriately for what it is. Not to ruffle any feathers, but that's more than I can say about a certain Goose game that will go untitled. I purposely left out a lot of details in this review, because I think this is an experience where it's best to go in as blind as possible. If you need help becoming blind, here's my number. Really, the only problem I encountered during my entire playthrough is the camera sometimes had trouble keeping up with me while gliding, or didn't go exactly where I wanted it to. But that's a small sacrifice to pay for the ability to do this. A Short Hike can be summed up entirely by its name. You hike, it's really short, and I'm giving it an A. If you like games and have $8, this one's a pretty safe bet, unless you hate joy. Thanks for watching, subscribe if you want, and I'll see you next video.